All right, I've got a piano lesson here for you today, and we actually don't even need the piano. I just want you to hold your hands up and notice how easily the fingers can move if you don't add anything to them. Like if you don't curl them, straighten them, stretch them apart. Just keep the natural curve that they have and the natural spacing between them, and just notice how nice and easily they can move. Okay, now compare if you purposely put a curl into the fingers and you try to move them just as fast. It doesn't feel quite as good, right? I'm guessing you feel what I feel. I feel a lot of tension here. I feel like my fingers move more slowly. It feels like a lot more work to make them move quickly. Okay, now try just putting a little bit of a stretch between the fingers and try to move them fast. It still feels pretty yucky, right? This reminds me of when I have a student, usually at the beginner level, and their book will give them a nice piece in like a C 5-finger scale, which is fine, but the student, with the best of intentions, they think that they should line up each finger with each key for the song. And then, when it's that finger's turn to play, they just kind of push down and everything is in this tense position. It feels really tight to play that way. But you see some elements of that move into people's playing who have played for years, actually. You'll see a little bit of anticipation and trying to prepare for certain things that are happening. So you really want to look out for that. And you might be thinking, well, don't I need to open my hands at times to play the piano? And yes, of course you do. For like a chord, that's a different situation, because in this situation, the piano can hold my hand open. I don't feel like I have to hold a stretch in my hand to play a chord. Same with like an octave. If you feel like you have to have a stretch here, then consider that you don't need to. Just feel that the piano is keeping your hand open for you. Okay, but that's a different story. So here's another example for you. We call this a twist at the wrist. Okay, so if you have this extreme angle from the hand to the arm, and then you try to move the fingers here. That feels really bad to me, especially on this side of my hand. So, if I had just a slight angle, I would be fine. And, we would call this like in, a mid-range of motion. But if you really go to the extreme range, that's when things don't feel as good. So the information that I'm sharing here today is really what's at the heart of the Taubman approach. So we look for misalignments and movements that don't work so well for piano playing, and we don't use them. So this is anything that would make you feel tension, or gets in the way of speed and ease of motion, or anything that just physically feels like it's getting in the way of expressing the music that you want to express. And these movements, they usually cause fatigue, discomfort, pain, tension. So you don't want to have that in your playing, okay? And instead, we look at ways that the body moves really well with freedom, ease of motion. Like here when I kept the natural curve of my fingers and I can move them very easily. That's what we want to use at the piano. We look for certain alignments of the body, and there's so many things I could talk about. This is just a short video, but so anything that would help you to play fast and with fluidity and control. And as a bonus, these things help you to avoid tension, fatigue, and pain. So I just wanted to give you a little food for thought today on your own technical habits at the piano, and maybe some of this information will help you out a little bit. And I plan to do more posts like this one. Maybe I'll end here with a little bit of Schubert, the beginning of the E-flat major Impromptu. right. Have a great day and happy practicing.